Bonjour mes amis. Good morning my friends. We're at the train station of Marseille, La Gare Saint-Charles. And we're about to head out of Europe's most dangerous city, as they say. We're about to head out of rough Marseille and check out another place here quite close to Marseille. Another city here in the region, which is very famous among French people. One of the most beautiful cities in all of France. It's a place that French people say you have to visit when you come to France. And as it's in the same region, just an hour by train away from Marseille, we're gonna go check it out. Let's check out the posh side of France. Vamos. Sorry, vas-y. Right guys, quite a fancy train station here, this train station of Marseille. I'm pretty surprised by this, check it out. Looks a lot prettier than some airports I've been to. Wow. Marseille surprises me more and more. And I think we've got to hurry up to buy a ticket. I'm still looking for the ticket office. This is actually a train station and a bus station. So when you arrive by Flixbus or wherever, you arrive here as well. And yeah, look, check it out. This seems to be the old part of the train station. Wow. So this is the old part, and here we've got the new part, the modern part. What a difference. Let me buy my ticket, and then I'll stop on the train. Right guys, I bought my ticket, 19 euros for the round trip. So not super cheap. It's just an hour to get there, it's just an hour north from here, like 20 miles from here, 30 kilometers. And yeah, 19 euros, not super cheap. And we've had our first French situation, a typical French situation. The train, I've bought the train ticket for 19 euros. And then the train, I got told that the train didn't even come, that they were working on the railways and stuff. And now, yeah, we're gonna go there by bus. So we're gonna go by bus, return by train, because apparently in the afternoon the train is working again. So yeah, that's that to Aix-en-Provence, which apparently is one of France's prettiest cities. The prettiest city here in the region. Right guys, we've arrived at our destination. About an hour later, a bit over an hour later, I've had a little nap. It's boring, I don't hate bus rides. I always sleep on buses. And yeah, we've now arrived at our destination. Welcome to Aix-en-Provence. Apparently one of France's prettiest cities and the prettiest city in the region. The French always told me about this place. They always told me that I should come here to Aix-en-Provence. That is super pretty, super laid back. That is one of the best cities in France, basically. Basically, the peaceful side of France, the old school side of France, which France used to be known for. The posh, pretty side of France. And it's a beautiful day. We're lucky with the weather. So, I could do with a coffee. I still haven't woken up completely, so let's go for a coffee first. I have to say that one thing I missed over the years now of not being in France, that I really loved when I was studying here in the south of France. Obviously not here in the region, but a bit further west, was to have a coffee in the morning in the sunshine. The south of France is like a different vibe. It's still Western, Northern Europe, but it's like a Southern European vibe due to the climate here. Despite everything that's going on in this country, and despite the country currently, over the last few years, going through a very rough patch, and it not being, people not really looking up to France anymore in many things. From a social perspective, kind of failed, you have to say it. But many countries in Europe are. It's still a beautiful country, and it still has its good sides. Wow, check out how clean it is here. Wow, not used to that in France. It's not Marseille. Not to say anything bad about Marseille, not to criticize Marseille, but it's not the cleanest of places. Also the Marseillais, the people of Marseille acknowledge this. Look at this place, man. And this is the train station area of the town. So usually train stations in Europe are like the dirtiest places in town, like rough places everywhere in Europe. And here, wow, super clean. Looks like a nice place. It's flipping clean here. And you've got bins everywhere. Bins everywhere, guys. Check it out. Bin, bin, bin. Man. And another bin. 4 bins. Wow. Because that's not the case in Marseille, I can tell you this. Now, time for a bit of the history about Aix-en-Provence. Aix-en-Provence is also one of the oldest cities in France. Yeah, a very historic city. And also during the Second World War, something very bad and tragic happened here in Aix-en-Provence. As you know, the Germans took over France, the Nazis, and here in Aix-en-Provence there was a camp, as they called it, transit camp for the Jews of France and of the region. There were Jews deported here from Italy, Spain and France obviously, and then they were kept there in that camp, the Camp des Milles as they call it, before they were ready to get on the train and sent to Auschwitz. So yeah, many French people and French officials cooperated happily with the Nazis and deported Jews. They also did that here. Because it is definitely the cleanest city I've seen in France so far. We're now approaching, getting further inside the old town of the city. This is like the newer part of town, the modern part of town, surrounding the fountain. And yeah, so far, not bad. Here you have pizza. Everyone here in the city can tell that I'm not from here, that I'm not from the south of France. Because it's still, I mean, it's not the summer anymore, it's not super hot, but it's like 20 degrees, 18 degrees or something. And everyone here, basically nobody's in a t-shirt. I'm the only one in a t-shirt. Everyone's in a hoodie or jacket. You see some people with shorts, but then they're wearing like a hoodie or jacket. Wow, beautiful. This is so typical for the south of France. People sitting on terraces, enjoying their coffee. So far, no junkies lying around, no sketchy people lurking around, no gangsters, no French gangsters around, no litter lying around. I think this might be the cleanest city I've ever seen in France. Like the old school, this city is like stuck in the past, you know, like. It's like an island for itself. It's not like the rest of France. It's like going back in time. It feels like going back in time, back into the time when France used to be a country that people and other countries, other nations looked up to, you know. Not as criminal, not as gangster, not as dirty, not as violent. This is like the quiet, laid-back vibe that especially Americans, non-Europeans, still connect when they think of France. When they think of France, they think of like that romantic, laid-back, quiet nation, friendly nation, which is absolutely non-existent these days. France has changed. But here, feels like going back in time, honestly. It's also a small town. I reckon that when you go around France with your car and going to small towns or villages, you'll find more places like this. But the big cities are absolutely not like this. Wow. Wonderful. I think I'm going to name this video I found France's cleanest town. Definitely a well-preserved city. Why does not all of France look like this? Wow guys, I have to say, I know what people mean now, what people meant when they told me I should come here. That's super beautiful, that it's so old school and pretty. I mean, I've been to France many times, spent some time here in my life, but I've never seen a place like this, so old school. Man, look at these alleys, look at this market. Wow. Actually, this might be the best city to live in France, actually. Wow. The good part of France. The old school, romantic, like laid back part of France still exists. It's not that. France is not completely failed. You just have to go to the right places, the right cities. Don't go to Paris. That's the mistake that most people make when they come to France. You should come to these places. Wow. Stunning. I think this is the most well-preserved city I've seen in France, and up there with the most well-preserved in Europe. I never thought I would say this in France, but wow. No wonder that people like it here so much, that French people tell me come here. Wow. Here's some flowers, you can buy some flowers for your girlfriends. Or your wives, if people still get married today. So guys, time for lunch. And as we're in France, and in probably France's cleanest and most old school city, most well-preserved city, I went for a delicious, famous French baguette. A chicken baguette. Try it out, a big French chicken baguette with curry sauce, curry chicken baguette. So, I reckon it's gonna be delicious. It wasn't cheap, cost €5.50, which is not too cheap, but I mean, when you're in the old town, in France's most well-preserved old town and probably most traditional and cleanest city, I mean, it's normal, that's gonna cost. So, provecho, bon appetit, see you guys in a bit. Baguette is probably the best thing the French have done for this world. And by the way, this city, as it says on this sign here, got liberated by the Americans from the Germans on the 21st of August 1944 by the 3rd Infantry Division of the US Army. So for you Americans, this is also a very historic place for you guys to visit. Wow, what a beautiful city, what a beautiful place it is. Back in the past, this used to be like everywhere in France, the vibe was like this back in the past, like a few decades ago. But of course France changed, like the entirety probably of Western Europe. It's also very touristy here. Most of the tourists are French. Not many dodgy characters around, if any. So yeah. And surely it's not, that's the downside of course, surely it's not very cheap to live here. I'm saying that it's a great place to live, probably one of the best places to live in France, but it has a price obviously. It has a price. I reckon it's gonna cost to live here. And by the way, I haven't told you guys yet, that this city is also a very famous university city. Students from all over the world, but especially the French-speaking world, like to come here to Aix-en-Provence to do their studies. And I reckon that it's a nice place to study. I mean, wow, it's safe, it's beautiful, the weather is nice, it's clean, nothing bad to say actually. Wow, check it out, I think this is the cathedral of Aix-en-Provence. That's la cathédrale? Merci. That's the cathedral of Aix-en-Provence, check it out. Wow. Look at what religion used to mean to the people. This was built like in the Middle Ages, without any machines or something. It's crazy to think that nowadays we're not even caring anymore. We let AI do everything for us. We're at an age where we can't even, lift something anymore. It's crazy. The internet does everything for us nowadays. And this was done before the machines, before industrial times, before the internet. It's crazy. Do people nowadays still worship things as much as they used to worship religion? Loads of students around, loads of students. And now apparently we're leaving the old part of town behind us and are heading into a bit more modern part of town. And it still looks super, super clean here and tidy. Check it out. This is still Aix-en-Provence, France's most laid-back, cleanest and probably safest town. Man, imagine living here. Must be good. Quiet, safe, good weather. Well, honestly, this part of the town feels like a village. It's how most people back in the days imagined France to be. I think Aix-en-Provence is what Paris used to be like a few years ago, or a few decades ago. Just like Marseille, probably. I reckon Marseille once used to be like this, laid back, quiet, no narco wars. Definitely a place I recommend when you come to France. The good old, romantic, idyllic, laid-back side of France is still alive in some parts. Goodbye, Aix-en-Provence. So we're back at the train station. And now, not like before when the train unexpectedly didn't come and we had to take the bus because the train didn't function. Now, for our return to Marseille, we're gonna take the train. So let's see when it departs. So on the board, Marseille Saint-Charles. We've got an hour to kill in Aix. Let's go for another coffee then, I reckon. And let's be real French people, real people of Aix and read La Provence. Whilst I'm waiting for my coffee, probably my 8th or 10th coffee of the day. I'm addicted to coffee. I'm addicted to coffee and to water. I think that's not too bad. I think there's worse addictions in the world than coffee and water. So here's our train, guys. Our SNCF French train. Région Sud, southern region. So let's hop on the train. Check it out. This must be the first class, I suppose. Oh no, the entire train looks the same. I think they're in first class or second class, I suppose. Yeah, pretty modern. Wow, I like it. It's super modern. France probably is a lot less rough than some of people would suggest. Oh, super modern. Oh, what a comfy train, check it out. Check out these seats, comfy seats. Wow, one of the most comfortable trains I ever sat on. I'm not even exaggerating. Oh, I think I'm gonna have a good hour nap here. See you in a bit. Voila, we're back in Marseille, guys. So, here right in front of the very French Arc de Triomphe, which is basically in every major French city. Every major French city has one of these. An Arc de Triomphe. The most famous one is obviously the one in Paris, but every major French city has one. So, the perfect spot to end the video and end this mini French adventure. Tomorrow I'm gonna leave, tomorrow morning, and out to another country and another city. The reputation of the city we're going to go to, like Marseille, has gone down in the past few years. So we're going to head there tomorrow. We're going to head north to a bit of a colder, less sunnier place. And it's time to say goodbye to Marseille and to France. I have to say I wasn't looking forward to coming here to France and to Marseille, but having spent now 3 days here, I can honestly say that it was much better than I expected. Especially Aix-en-Provence showed that France is not that lost, it's still alive. You can still find safe, nice, typical French places and towns in this country which are worth visiting. And also Marseille isn't that bad. Quite honestly, it was good to come back to the south of France, to the nice south of France. So guys, thanks for watching, and au revoir Marseille, and I'll see you guys in a bit. See you in the next country or next city. It'll be interesting, I can tell you that.